Hi, my name is Nikki Jones, and I am the lead instructor for Race, Policing, and Surveillance. I am a sociologist, a criminologist, and a professor in the Department of African American Studies at UC Berkeley. For over 20 years, I've studied how interpersonal and institutional violence impacts Black communities, and I've done this work from both sides of what is often described as a dividing line, from the perspective of the community and from the perspective of people who work in the criminal legal system, like the police. I've written about how Black women and girls navigate various forms of violence and how Black men work together to transform their neighborhoods and their lives. I've been inspired by the stories that people have shared with me, and I bring that inspiration and passion into the classroom each time I teach. In this course, we will critically examine the relationship between race, policing, and surveillance, and how it has evolved from the founding of the nation, a nation built on settler colonialism, slavery, and racial capitalism, to the present day. We'll learn how to identify the legacies of this relationship when it comes to policing and the surveillance of Blackness today. We'll consider what this relationship might look like, or ought to look like, in the future. We'll also spend a good deal of time talking about how Black people resist and transform methods of policing and surveillance that are designed to capture, contain, and kill. Our jumping-off point for this course will be the uprisings against police violence and systemic racism that erupted over the summer of 2020 as communities across the U.S. and across the globe reacted to the police killings of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and too many others. These marches, kneel-ins, and confrontations with the police took place in cities large and small, and because of these events, for the first time in recent history, calls for police abolition won out over calls for police reform, if just for a moment. How do we make sense of these uprisings and their aftermath? How has policing and other modes of surveillance changed, or not, in the wake of these extraordinary moments of police violence and community resistance? In this class, we'll consider these questions together. Since this is a course taught in the Department of African American Studies, we'll rely on three orienting paradigms to guide us in our thinking and learning: the Black intellectual tradition, the Black feminist tradition, and intersectionality as an interpretive framework. Consistent with these paradigms, this class will center the standpoint of Black people and Black communities, which is likely to be a new experience for many students. It is an experience to learn from, and I invite you into that experience. As a professor, I am many things: a writer, a researcher, a mentor, a teacher, and a lifelong learner. I'm excited to share what I've learned from talking to people on the front lines of some of the most pressing issues of the day: gun violence, police reform, and police abolition. I'm also excited to learn from you, your experiences, and your wisdom. I hope you enjoy the course, but most importantly, I hope you learn something from it, something that will help you understand what is happening today and gives you the knowledge needed to respond to the crisis next time. Thank you for your interest in this course. I'll see you this summer.